The thing I find comforting about the play is knowing that there's always love.
Mm-hmm.
And love is eternal, and death doesn't stop that.
The investment from everybody who has chosen to come on this journey is at 150%, so it's a really enjoyable room to be in.
It's great to work alongside people who have, you know, you don't have to explain yourself all the time. I mean, that's what I felt in my career, that I've had to explain not only my culture, but my gender, my sort of age or whatever. I don't have to do that here.
There's a lot of shared experiences,
That's
all
it.
of us, and the communication is really great, I think, in terms of all the female energy.
It's a great room because we are all women. You know, I mean, I'm not saying the whole room. I'm not saying that, yeah, but they are tokens, so that's...
The play was commissioned by the National, I think it was about 4 years ago now, by Rufus. I was specifically asked to write a play for Meera, and so I've been working with Meera and also with Pooja for the last 4 years in developing it. So it was always based very loosely around King Lear, only obviously Queen Lear. And as the play has progressed, it's become about a matriarch. And it's been quite collaborative right from the beginning, I think. Coming into it, I was talking to Meera about our experiences of losing our mothers.
And we were very much in contact during
Yeah.
that difficult period.
And I know that Shobhan has written an amazing book about.
Same thing, but I felt so, I suppose now I don't feel as alone because I've now sort of joined you guys in this journey of sort of looking at, you know, our reaction to a matriarch who we've lost, or somebody, you know, from our different South Asian backgrounds, but there is a certain commonality and universality that is beyond our culture as well as with our culture.
I think you feel when you go through something that profound and you're an artist, you immediately jump to how can I one day turn this pain into something else, which you have.
Because it's about death and about the death of a matriarch, hopefully because it's so specific, it's universal as well, because everybody experiences death. And certainly my long collaboration with Rosa, I know that you lost your mother as well, and we talked about that quite a lot, so it's kind of been part of the design as well.
It was a tough one. It was a tough one emotionally and a tough one just generally because it's got so many layers and so many landscapes and this wonderful part of spirituality and rebirth to try and incorporate it within the story, but also have really domestic scenes. So it's been a really beautiful journey, and I feel like it's successful. I feel like it's an abstract set, so it's a tough set.
It's been really lovely kind of getting into a room with this set, which is so abstract and open, actually. The focus has been on the storytelling. Yeah. And actually the focus has been on the magicians in the room that are creating that story. And that has been amazing to experience, both as a director and the space in which we are sitting and how we use it, because it kind of shifts how we're telling the story, because it's really coming from the actors.
I mean, it's very exposing for you.
It's quite terrifying having a completely empty stage, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Because, you know, we like a prop.
As I said,
we like a
you
bit
can
of
have a
set
prop,
to hide
you can
behind.
bring it on, and you can take it off.
Fiddle with.
I love a prop.
You're quite proppy in this play.
She's always got her box of nibbles with her.
Yes, I think because A, the character gets hungry, and B, so does Shobhan.
And that's another gorgeous part of the play, is the food and the element of food and what it stands for.
And the rehearsal room, because somebody's always brought in freshly baked.
Somebody,
That's true.
this is the lady of baked goods.
I mean,
Brownies, cookies.
they are incredible.
I know, but that's so from our mothers.
It is.
Yeah.
That's how you show love. You feed people. And you stand over them and watch them eat it.
Yeah.
You don't need to
So
yourself.
why aren't you having some more?
Yeah, exactly. I think the thing that makes display so special and lifts it away from the expectation of what a story about death and dementia might be about is that there's this beautiful love story running through it, which is deeply spiritual and moving and joyful, and that runs alongside and Queenie's decline. And that's what, for me, just made this play very unique. When you meet Queenie, she's apparently firing on all cylinders, but in fact, as you discover, she's probably been living with and hiding her dementia for some time. You know, many of us in the cast, including myself, I'm sure now, have had very personal experiences of a parent with dementia, but the truth is it's different in every person, and everyone has good days and bad days. So that's been quite interesting, sort of deciding between us what stage Queenie's at. Is this a good day or a bad day? Is this bit of dialogue denial or is it the truth? I suspect I don't think I will really understand the arc properly until we start running it.
And I think then design-wise and costume-wise, once we see that run, I can support with costume and hair detail and makeup the levels of maybe the slight neglect or the coming back together of outfits, and just support the journey for all of the characters.
Yeah, so Anjali's got so you've got it in all of that practical stuff. Anjali's got it in the passages of time in movement, haven't you?
I think there's a lot of surprises all the way through for us as well, because sometimes we just think it is what it is, and then there'll be a shift in the scene where you realise it isn't what it is actually. So that's what's been quite interesting to play with, is are we all in the same place? That feels like we're constantly discovering it as we're going as well. So I think with the movement detail that we're starting to layer, it's become much clearer of passing of time, Queenie's perspective. Is it shifting? Is that a clarity moment? Is that us seeing her? Are you seeing them? That's been interesting, and I think that's really reflective of the set as well. It's like you can really sit in the abstract, which is when we go into the imaginative world, but then we're also very grounded in this space, so it's like we can play between the two. So the movement's also been very inspired by the set.
I've written it from the point of view of spirituality and Hinduism and the afterlife and the questions that we always ask. But for people who don't believe, I think this play also gives you the idea that actually she is living in her own world, whether or not it's spiritual or not. She is seeing things which she believes are true. So that's when the design, the choreography, the acting all comes together.
And I think that's what we've tried to, certainly what I try to do with the design, and what's so beautiful about the piece. You know, we've looked at how the audience might see what Queenie's going through in different ways. So we see what Queenie's seeing, this beautiful, you know, sometimes very beautiful images, sometimes quite scary images, and the children around her don't understand it, but the audience get to see that perspective. So it's trying to give another layer of something none of us really understand. But it's not always so terrible. It can be very beautiful sometimes. So I think
There's a great deal of comfort and joy in it, isn't there?
And hope.
And hope.
And of
And there were
course,
some good jokes, and there were
some good jokes.
Some good jokes.
that the whole cast have helped me with.
They're very funny cast.
Yes.
In terms of movement, I mean, Meera's and Shobana are incredibly brilliant physical actors. The understanding that you all have of the actual process of what's happening to Queenie is so clear.
And we should really mention the music because, gosh,
Yes.
we're lucky, aren't we?
We're so
Yes,
lucky.
we have Nitin Sawhney, who's composed music, especially for this play.
Gorgeous.
It's
And,
so beautiful.
So
Every time he sends something through, we all sit and cry.
Oh my God.
It's so true.
It's so
And it's
beautiful.
also so wonderful that a composer, I mean, he is extraordinary, but also he's so inside the play, the atmosphere of the moments, this sense of whether that's a memory or nostalgia, whether it's a lullaby, or whether it literally is transporting us out of the world and back in. He just has managed to find the sweet spot in all of it.
It really helps, I guess, certainly for me, that Tanika and Pooja, you know, I've known for so many years, and wanted to...
Don't mention any numbers.
No, we're mentioning numbers. But how long have we been waiting to work together?
I know.
So-
I mean, we've been talking about trying to collaborate on something for at least a couple of decades.
I would say, must be.
So it's been very exciting to get into the room together and actually work together. I mean, we've worked on other things like radio plays, and I did an adaptation of Meera's play, which Shobna was in.
Yeah, I played Meera's mum.
Yeah.
And this is mine and Pooja's fifth collaboration. Is it fifth? Yeah, collaboration together. And actually, Rosa and myself started out at the National Theatre Studio in the 90s. So this is so lovely, 30 years on to be 30 years.
And
You said the number.
I said the number.
And
To be
Anjali
yeah.
in Bombay Dreams, which
you
I
wrote
wrote the book for. So
Yeah.
There you
I knew
go.
Anjali from there. So there's all kinds of
So
cross
all these
connections.
connections, which is great.
So basically, we are being called the Dream Team.
I guess like most processes, I mean, it's been about the kind of connective tissue between the artist and the character, and how that voice starts to come alive. And I think we're really fortunate with this play because we have got an extraordinary cast. It feels like there's constantly something coming from actors, creative team, myself, and we're all in it together, kind of discovering and finding and fine-tuning. Yeah, it's what making art is all about.
We're very lucky, aren't we, in a sense that we all just slot in together.
Yeah.
You know, the family is the family.
Yeah, yeah.
And you believe it so thoroughly. Even the relationships between the actors who played the children, even outside of the rehearsal room, you get the person who's the balancer, you get the one who wants to get it done, and you get the joker. Do you know what I mean? It's already there.
So what you feel in a casting process, you really hope that chemistry starts to grow in the room, and it's just been a delight to watch and continues to be.
You did describe this play as a love letter to our parents' generation.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's kind of recognition of them being people, you know, because the separation from being a child and a parent. Every time I read your words and I think of those journeys and I think of all the different experiences our parents had, I just feel like I wish that when I was younger, I knew more.
What I get from it as well is all those things that created my family before me and me are relevant, and they're still present, ever present in all of us. And that just keeps going and going throughout all our children and whatever. So that feels very strong to me.
Obviously, plays are so subjective. People take different things from it. So some people say, oh, this is a play about Alzheimer's, and somebody else will say, this is a love story, and others will say, this is about a family breakdown. And actually, I think the play is about all those things. Hopefully, the audiences will be moved and feel very like they're seeing their own lives on stage as well. I think there are also so many things to relate to.